everybody doing tonight? My name is Colin Kennedy, and I am one of the founders of GemShelf, which is a web-based knowledge management platform that helps organizations better capture, organize, and share information. So that sounds really nebulous, I know, but what we're doing is we're actually solving a problem that I believe most people in this room actually experience on a semi-frequent basis. And to illustrate that, I'm just going to tell a little story about my buddy Jeff and how his life is without GemShelf and what it would be like with GemShelf. So Jeff's a consultant here in Boston, and this happened to him the other day. His boss came in, first thing in the morning and said, "Hey Jeff, remember that thing you were working on with Colin last year? It was 6-8 months ago for that nonprofit prospect. We thought we lost it, and good news. I got a call this morning, and they just put it on hold. They want to move forward. They want to meet with me this afternoon. So you can go ahead and just please pull together all that information that we had put together and sent to them previously and update everything so I can nail this presentation." And like that, they're gone, out of the room. Doesn't ask, "Can you do this for me?" It just has to happen. And so basically what Jeff has to do is he is faced with the prospect of going through his company Dropbox folder, their file share, their emails with the client to try and find all of the content that is relevant for this particular task. And it's maddening. He's like, "Where the heck is it?" Kind of like by the end of it, it takes hours. And so what GemShelf does is it solves that problem, and I'll show you how. So we're just going to log into GemShelf here. And I'm just going to point out, 3 kind of features to GemShelf that are relevant and interesting. Specifically to Jeff's situation, lots of times you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Keywords tend to elude you. And so with GemShelf, you can find pretty much anything in 3 clicks, even if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. So to use that example, he was told that he was working on this project with Colin, so he's going to add a filter for Colin. And all right, so this happened a while ago. Maybe I'm going to add a date range to it. So let's just be safe, even though my boss told me it was last year. Just put January instead. And I can also filter by type with all different types of content within the system. Let's just start with a document. And so just like that, he went from hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of pieces of information to a much more manageable view. And for whatever reason, the Urban Land Institute report strikes him as something that is useful and maybe he and Colin discussed previously. He doesn't know why, because now it's starting to come back to him. He's like, "Oh, wasn't this that crowdfunding proposal that we were working on to consult that nonprofit?" So things are starting to come back to him, so he says, "All right, let's go and actually use our universal search. So I found something, but I actually want to test this out." And what he sees is a return of all of the information within the system, and this is everything from quotes to videos to bookmarks to your traditional web documents, PowerPoint presentations. And lo and behold, somehow this Urban Land Institute report once again appears, even though when we look at kind of our little library card, there's nothing in here in the tags about crowdfunding. And that's where universal search comes in. It's just a long-winded way of basically saying when he opens up the document on page 32, there's a section on crowdfunding. So it's pretty simple. We're searching across all types of content. We're searching within content. So instead of taking hours to find what he was looking for, he's got what he needs. And he wants to put that cherry on the top of the sundae of the presentation. So he goes out and says, "I'm going to find some more current information." So he goes like what most of us will do. And he goes out on the web, and using nifty little GemShelf browser plugin, he's going to grab this as a bookmark because it's an article on crowdfunding for nonprofits, and it's grabbing all the metadata there, and just really easily he's able to save that up into GemShelf. On with his day, he goes and he finds this great presentation, and on slide number 4, he finds something that is really compelling. He doesn't want the whole thing, so he's going to grab an image. So really quickly, he's just going to grab the image of that presentation. That's also saved into GemShelf. And then last of all, he came across this great TED Talk about crowdfunding your way out of a crisis. And so what he does is he wants to grab this as a video. And he does just that. And so really simply, if we go back into GemShelf, all of that stuff is up there. In essence, it's a really easy end-to-end tool to be able to find, capture, manage your organization's content, whether it's web or document-based. That's what I have for you today. Questions? Yes.
So, like the types,
Yes.
where do they come from?
The types, well, you have the ability to customize your own type as a client. So this is, I should mention that this is obviously a kind of private, almost portal-like tool. So our clients can customize and configure what types they want, but we have a preset list.
So if you have an existing database of lots of, documents, not Webster, but just, Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoints and stuff, so you can, then what? You already have it, so GemShelf can take that and read all of that and it knows all of this? Or?
Yeah, so we have a bulk upload tool. We integrate with some other best-of-breed technologies through their APIs. I can't say that we integrate in a matter of days, so kudos to Yoke. It takes us more like a couple weeks, but you can import that content and it understands the type that it's looking for, and it's almost like a visual library. It makes it easier to find that information.
Okay.
Yes?
Damn, I wish I knew about this before. I was struggling to find my slides before, and the PowerPoint slides all over the place.
That's what I'm talking about.
Quick question. So, first of all, how many users? That's question number one.
Okay, question number, so we're in pre-beta until this week, so we're now in beta, and we're releasing to our first 7 beta users this month, 10 next month, and then 12 the following month will be an open enrollment in September. So from a user standpoint, we actually have thousands of users. The use case is really strong with membership-driven organizations, nonprofits, NGOs, because they need a web-based tool to be able to cost-effectively share this information. So I don't have the exact numbers, but it's in the thousands of actual users, customers, a couple dozen.
And another question, what APIs are you using?
I cannot answer that. I know this is a Boston technology meetup, but I'm not the tech guy, so I'd be happy to get that answer for you.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
It's just some of the cool features you got going here.
In the back.
Are you searching for data in the private accounts like Dropbox and things like that?
We're not actively searching with the integration strategy. Basically, you'd be able to suck in, for lack of a better term, the Dropbox content that you have into the system, and so then that will be indexed. But we're not, pinging Dropbox right now. You actually have to bring it into the system.
For that, do you need authenticate user account information for all your users?
Yeah. So again, I'm not the technology guy, but the OAuth authentication does certainly sound familiar in the conversation that I've Somebody else?
For example, you use the bookmarking, you showed us that, and I'm wondering if you're planning on setting it up so that, I like doing bookmarks through Google Chrome. That way I get that extra bar at the bottom. Everything's really simple. But if I were to do it through your platform, then I'd have to, go over to your stuff, and it limits me from being able to have the really easily accessible stuff right below the search bar. And so I'm wondering if you have any intent on, just, I guess the word would be synchronizing between the bookmarking for Chrome or any other web, any other browser. That way, we don't. If I were to use it, I wouldn't have to click onto your thing and then click and make another bookmark.
Right. You wouldn't have to go down and click on bookmark. I gotcha. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sure that there's a lot of things on the table with our development roadmap. Anybody else? Yes.
So, are you guys gearing yourselves towards individuals or companies, I guess?
What I would say is our small businesses, see us as an alternative to much less expensive alternative to like a SharePoint, for small business that can't afford that. Also probably better technology maybe. But really our target market is groups, like self-forming groups, like a meetup group that has content to share, or an association, a membership, an NGO, like NGO, where people are dispersed not under one single email address that don't have to deal with, the various kind of company firewall issues that exist.
That would be a cool idea to use the Meetup API. I don't know how good it is. I'm on the mailing list for that, and I hear some complaints about it, but kind of incorporate it into that to make it part of the whole experience.
Yeah, that one is definitely on the roadmap.
Yeah, that's cool.
Anybody else? All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it.